All right, folks. Got the what I got here. I'm looking for my part. I have a this is a '79 Honda Express. I think I kind of did a little quickie video on it when I first got it. It does run. It has a carb issue. It was at times just puking tons of fuel. So I'm guessing the float was messed up. So I got on the handy eBay, and apparently they make a whole assembly for the float. So it comes with the bowl. You can see that here. Got the bowl. It's got the gasket. It's got a float. It's got a pin, a needle, and the 2 screws. All right. So me need to get some pliers. See if we can take this off of here. I loosened it up already, so unscrew this. And I could probably do it with it on the carb. Kind of curious though. I know I need to look and see if they make the replacement piece for this choke. I'm guessing the choke works. I don't know. This thing's been sitting out back forever, as you can tell by the condition of it. That looks decent. I think that's probably about a 12 or 14 millimeter. But I don't feel like getting up and going over there to get it, so I'll use my Nipix. I got the yellow one out the other day, and it appears to be running just fine. Not the fastest thing in the world, but don't need fast. Don't need fast to have fun. Alright, take this off here. I don't know what the heck this was. I must have plugged this with something to keep the fuel from flowing like mad out of it. So this new one, it does. It has a drain screw right there. We'll take this one off and then we'll compare it. I don't think this thing is either getting any fuel either. So may have to move over to the bench and give it a clean. I don't recall. Yeah, that float bowl's empty. So let's look down in here. See if we're getting any fuel down to it. We are getting absolutely nuttin'. Okay, so your air fuel and your idle. I don't think I brought a screwdriver. Let's see here. I did. Okay, the air fuel, let's check how many it was in. Half. Oh, it was turned in a half. So half, 1. Let's go 1.5 out. And idle was half, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.25. So let's go 1. Let's go 2 out. And let's see if we can blow through it and get anything now. And honestly, I can't even tell if there's a pin down there. definitely not getting anything out of it. I tried starting it up before I turned the camera on, and I got absolutely nothing. Shot some two-stroke premix into the carb, and it did fire over. So I do know that it will run, but now we're not getting any fuel. Okay. There was something up with this thing, and I can't, and I'm pretty sure it had something to do with the float, because this thing was not, it was just dumping fuel out the overflow. So, alright, well, let's, we'll take it over to the bench. I mean, I guess I can work on it. It doesn't look too dirty down in there. Yeah, it's got some sludge in it. I'll tell you what, I will, well, we got a new bottom, so I'm not too concerned about that. Let's make sure that this new one fits on the same way. Let's go this way. Double checking the fit. They appear to be the same on the inside. Alright, let's see how this one goes. Must be missing something here. That has to curve around, sit like so down here. But this float, this bottom here is for a Honda Express 50, this exact year. So that went that way. But there is definitely a difference in the bottoms. And this, I'm going to have to get a hold of the seller, because this does not fit. You try to line up those holes. If we look, you can see there, here's the original one. You got a hole right here that this goes down into. This one here is missing that. And the design is not the same. No. Okay, well, we may not be able to use that, but let's see here. Is the gasket the same? It doesn't fit that way. It does fit this way, okay? Alright, so the gasket is the same. We can use that if needed. The float mechanism is plastic, just like the original one in here. And let's just take it out and see. This one drops down in. I have no idea what I'm going to do with this thing. I may just fix it up and give it to my daughter. Well, geez. No, there it is. There's the float pin. Make sure this one fits. So it doesn't go down like so. And just keep the old parts with the old parts. Yeah, those look identical, from what I can tell. Same height. Alright, so put that with that. Put that with that. Leave this with this. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is there are no jets in this thing. What the heck, man? You can't see down through the center of that either. So let's tell you what we can do real quick. Yeah, probably ought to put it in the ultrasonic and clean it, but what I'll do is I'll just get some of my carb tools. Got these handy dandy little assortment of kind of like files, and we'll just find one that looks like it'll fit down the center. It is stopping on something in there. I can see the choke hole. Unless this presses out, which might be the case, but I can definitely not see down in there. And I don't want to take off the carb on the other one just to compare the two, so yeah. I don't know if that is thoroughly just blocked or what. It doesn't feel like a blockage, it feels like a screw. Alright, well, let me get this on the bench and I'm going to see if I can take a look in here. So hold on a second. Okay. I blowed it out a bit. Let me clean this other one out. Okay. I can at least, or I was able to, see light. Through here. And I can at least blow through it now. So let me get a smaller file. Push this. I don't know how. That hole in there is obviously pretty small. Okay, I want to force one through that is too thick. So let's try one of these two. Okay, we're going through there now. So. Choke. Okay, so at least when I blow through the fuel line, that's working. Okay, so now we are back to this original float needle. You know, that thing feels fine. So I think what I'm going to do is just put this one back on. It's been a long minute since I worked on this thing, and you know, maybe Just give that a little squirt. Clean off the needle. And worst case, we end up replacing it. But like I said, I'm going to have to get a hold of that eBay seller because there's that. The bottom does not fit. And I know it's hard for you guys to see, but this thing just sits up in here. There's like a little lip. And the top of this float needle has, hope you were seeing that, a little ridge on the top of it. And it just goes up in here. And it just sits. So now we got to put our pin back in. And try to drop this down there without the needle falling out. Okay, so that's back in place. Actually, this red one here is a tad faster than the yellow one. Okay, so when I push the float up, I can't blow through it. When it's dropped down, I can blow through it. So we know that's working. Alright, that thing there is clean-ish. Yeah, it's fairly clean. Get my light here. Yeah, another paper towel. Just kind of give it a wipe out. Actually, I got my rag right here, which is brand spanking new. Okay, well that looks all right. All right, so that is going to go just like so. And we're going to keep all these other pieces together from this other one. You know what? How much this float bowl was, you know, and maybe I should keep it only because if I need the pin or the float, then I've got one. But while I've got this here, I will take a picture of showing the two side by side. That way if I decide to return it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So we got a picture, and actually, let me tie my shoe. I don't think, when we tried to set this on here, it wouldn't go because it's missing that piece right there. Yep. And that is kind of the way it's supposed to sit. So, back with the phone, take another picture. And there is no difference between the 78 and the 79 carb. Just in case you're wondering. Alright, so what we'll do is we'll just screw this back on. We'll put the other parts back in it. Then I'll turn on the fuel and we'll see if it's getting any fuel. We'll flip it upside down. Really though, I probably will just keep it and not even go through the hassle, because like I said, the gasket works, the float's the same, the pin's the same. It's got 2 extra screws. Yeah, the bottom doesn't fit right, but you know, I'll get a hold of him and, you know, see if he has something that does fit better. I don't like how that fits down there. I need to see if I can find a new, well, I guess I could just get the whole cable assembly, which, trust me guys, it is a pain in the ass, because these go down in through the tube, down here, and then back out. So they're really kind of a pain to fish down in there. Alright, and we're looking for our slot. I know fuel is coming out of there. I done checked that. So we'll let it fill here for a minute. And just kind of tip it over on its side, or towards your intake side, or filter side, and see if it's getting fuel. Yep, I'm seeing fuel. I need to put clamps on there. Alright, now this is kind of a pain to get back on here. This has to go, carb has to go on first. So, and then you have this metal bracket, which is what holds the air cleaner on, which I'm going to have to get a new one of those, because this one is kind of angled. Let's see if I can. It's easier to do from the other side. Okay, so you got to get the carb on, but then you got to get this up for the screw holes, because it is what holds the carb in place. And it's kind of a pain. Because you can't really see that bracket. Well, you can kind of see the one side. Screwing in, I think that one's in. If I get that one in, then it'll be good. I can get the other side in. And then you can see it. Yep. Again. What the heck? Hold that. Yeah, I don't feel it grabbing hold that hole. Yeah, it's not grabbing, so I'm going to loosen this other side up. You know that one's in. Wires get in the way. Let's loosen this one out more. Trying to do this without dropping the other side. Back off. Come on, man. What the heck? I see it right there. Go. I still don't think it went. I'm working on it. Patient. It's like it's not wanting to start threading in. What the heck? I can see the bolt right there. Put that light. Maybe a little light on it will help. These are the crappiest lights. They're magnetic, but they do not stay. So I know these are the right screws because I didn't even take them out. It's not wanting to grab. What a pain. Well, it doesn't look stripped. Sorry. Trying to get this stupid bolt screw into here. Alright. I'm just going to take it off. Carb back off, take it off, and see if there, let me turn my fuel. Park that so it doesn't drip the fuel everywhere, and see if there is an issue with this screw in here. Doesn't feel like it wants to go in. So let's try to thread it from the other side. Clean that hole up a little bit. I'm sure there's a joke in there somewhere. That is what was causing the problem. It wasn't wanting to thread in. Let's see if this works better. Yeah, it's definitely a, you know, I probably ought to put a thread tracer on this. Both pieces. I can get it in there, so we'll try it again. And put this back on. Put our carb in. this has to go down here first. Otherwise, you'll never, that has to be in place underneath it. Otherwise, you'll never get it back up in there. Okay, so lift that back up. Maybe. See if we get the one side going. Yeah, it's kind of a crappy design, how you gotta hold this bracket on the back side of the carburetor in order to and of course it's got to be in just the right way, and then you got to get the screw, the bolt through the carb and at least hitting the back plate so you can start screwing that in. And yeah, it's just kind of a pain. But I would have had that one bolt. I'm not going to give it the fits. I think I kind of got this one here. And I'm not left-handed. Okay, let's see if we can get the other side started. Lines out of the way. We can get this side going. The other side was easier. Yeah, well, guys, get a Honda Express 50. You'll see what I'm talking about. Okay. I think I'm just going to pause this for a minute, and I'll turn you back on when I get this stupid thing back in place. This is taking way too long. Well, that took me a little bit longer, but I think I am going to end up taking it back off and trace threading it. I was able to shove a screwdriver in behind there and get it to put enough pressure on it to where I can get the screw started. So let's see if it'll start. Okay, so we appear to be getting some fuel. Let's see here. That one was another half out. I'm guessing. That should be working. I'm not sure. I can't really feel it. All right, let's see. I still think we have a fuel issue. And I know the tank is on, the lever is on, and I'm pretty sure I've got plenty of gas in this thing. Yep. I think I've got premix in here too. But I did put a new line over there to make sure it's getting oil, which I do see it pumping through. want to have to take this off and run it through the ultrasonic. Fuel lever is on. I know it's getting plenty of gas out of the fuel line. I done verified that, so I still think it's just got a plug somewhere. Yeah, it's like, try choking it again. Oh, we're getting gas, maybe too much. Let's see here. Let's turn this back in. We'll turn this one out 1.5. So half, 1.5. And I think this one was at 3. So let's turn this one back. Half, 1.5, 2, half, 3. Let's see if that makes any difference. I don't know which one's the air fuel, which one's the idle. Yeah, it's like it's just getting enough fuel to kick it over and then it burns it up. The one thing I can do is, if I can reach this screw, open this valve at the bottom. Okay, I do see fuel coming out of the float bowl. Okay, well that's good. It appears as though there is plenty of fuel in the float bowl. So, try it again. Worst case, I'll go fire the, whatchamacallit, ultrasonic up, let it heat up, and try it again. Yeah, it's like running out of fuel. Turn that choke off. Alright, well, we'll pause this, guys, and take the carb back off, heat up the ultrasonic. We'll clean it out thoroughly, and then come back at it. So, be back here shortly. Alright, guys, well, I got the carb back on, had it in the ultrasonic, I don't know, 40 minutes or so. There are no jets in this thing, so put it back on. It ran briefly, and then it just dies. No matter what you do with the air fuel, you know, you can tell it's just running too rich, or, well, like in the case now, I can't even get it started again. So, and it's got plenty of spark. Yeah, it's definitely getting, I'm guessing, too much fuel, because you can see down in here, you know, when this thing is, when you're trying to kick it over, you know, it's just spitting out gas. And like I said, there's no jets in this thing, so I'm going to get on eBay and see if I can find one of these original ones, which are extremely hard to find. I may end up having to go with the Chinese one. However, with the Chinese ones, the choke is on the carb. It's not on the lever here, up here on the handlebars anymore. Which that's not a deal breaker, but the cover for the side, which is, of course, this thing here is pretty shot. Yeah, I'm sure I could probably put some, clean this thing up, put some fiberglass, I don't know about even fiberglass patch down in there, because this thing's pretty messed up down in there. So, but I'll look at my other parts and see if I've got anything. So what I will do is get on eBay here in a little bit, and I'm going to measure the inlet on this carb, and I need to measure between the bolts on the back side of it and make sure that it matches up. So stay tuned, I'll be back. Well, I can't find anything wrong with the carb. something else is up. I did take the petcock off. You know, I had a bunch of premix in it, but I've got the oil injection working. But I just wanted to check to make sure there was no blockage. It seemed kind of like there was. The inside of the tank is fairly clean, so what I want to do is I'm kind of suspecting maybe the exhaust. Yeah, I got a coat hanger and I can stick it up in there, and I do seem to be, I don't know, getting some exhaust out of it, but I don't know, just something still just ain't quite right. It doesn't feel like the exhaust is working completely, so we'll take it off and see. That looks like to be about a 12 mil. There's a 10 mil in the back here, and the header bolts, there's 2 of those. Those are 10 mil. There's 1 bolt over here on the side under the that heat shield that I just took off. And what did I do with my 12 millimeter? I swear I'd lose my head if it wasn't attached. But I'm working on 2 different bikes, actually 3. So I kind of lose track of all my stuff. Bouncing from bike to bike. That's actually not even that's a 12. But if we can get this to run, and run decent, then while I've got this exhaust off, I guess it wouldn't hurt to take a wire brush to it. I don't know if I have any of that flame-proof exhaust stuff left. Okay, there's a bolt, there's a spacer washer that goes in between them. And then we need to undo our other 10 mil for the exhaust, and we'll drop it down. So, see what she does. See how bad it's clogged, if it's clogged at all. I can't really tell at this point, but the carb looks fine. I checked it. I compared it, the opening for the slide, to the yellow one, and it looks to be about the same distance. So we'll see what this comes up with. Oh, there's a nice big stick under there. Because no matter what I have tried with the air fuel, it is just not one to stay running. It's like it's getting gas. Well, that feels pretty crusty up in there. Let me get my light. See if I can get my fat head up under here. And see if we got like maybe a bunch of carbon buildup as well. I don't know if I'll maybe be able to see up in there. Yeah, I can't see too well. I tell you, probably wouldn't hurt at some point to take this head off and clean. I mean, the bike has ran fine, so You know, one step at a time, guys. Alright, so let's see here. Well, I can blow clean through the exhaust, so I don't think that's an issue. Give it a few taps. It's getting good airflow. So I don't think that exhaust is the issue. Alright, so what else can we have here? Let's see here. It's going to be loud as crap. Let's see if it stays running. You will shoot. And that, guys, is what we keep getting. Okay, that's entertaining. All right, so I've got, what do I do with my screwdriver? I've got the air fuel one turn out. So let's go. We'll do a half turn out. See if that makes any difference. But I mean, if I loosen the float bowl drain screw down there, I mean, it seems like it's getting plenty of fuel, and it looks like the float on these, not that I can see, is adjustable. It's a set height. It's that, and I showed you in the other video. It's just a little plastic float, and it's got a little slot that the pin sits down in. So there's no adjustment on that. So if I can't get this to stay running consistently, finding these carbs, new factory carbs, is impossible. I will have to go with the Chinese one, and then like I said in the other part of this video, that cover's not going to fit. So let's see what it does. Yeah, let's try choking it. Okay, so still same thing, and there is plenty of fuel in there. I'm spitting out plenty. I'll tell you what, though. We got the air hose here. Let's give the carb. It's definitely spitting out gas. I don't know if you caught that. I don't know if the camera caught that. So, okay, so is it getting too much gas and flooding it out? I don't know, man. But like I said, when we in this other part of this video, there are no jets in this thing. Not that I can see. You know, nothing that you can take out and clean. You can clean the orifices out. Alright. So let's try closing it. So we got a half, we got one, we got a 1.5. And that is typical for most carbs on these bikes. You know, 1.5 out as a starting point. And you know, if I move the throttle, the slide is not closing completely, but it's not closed completely on the other bike, which runs perfectly fine. So I have to assume that this is the proper height. Yeah, I know that's kind of janky. It's broke, needs to be replaced. So anyway, we're at 1.5 out. And choke is on. Better, marginally. Let's see if it starts back up. Yeah, same thing still. Alright, let's go another half turn out. I'm not noticing now as much fuel sitting in the air filter side. I am puzzled on this one. Let's turn the choke back off. The choke does appear to be working, and it does not appear to be sticking. Now let's try turning this idle in and backing it out like 2 turns. Yeah. 1, 1.5. Let's see what 1.5 does on it. I'm still leaning now towards the carb issue. What though? And I have no clue. It's been cleaned multiple times and all the passages seem clear. Fuel flow coming out of the petcock was fine. So I don't know, maybe I don't have enough fuel in it. Oh, we got a nice little leak there at the petcock. Okay, so that will need looked into. Let's try it again. I think I got it on reserve now since I did put gas in it. Yeah, I can see gas in there. Yeah. Okay. Maybe there is a problem with the petcock. Maybe it's not flowing enough fuel. So, or keep, yeah, flowing enough fuel. Maybe it's, got a restriction in it somewhere. And I don't know. Where's my cup at? Pull this hose back off. It's flowing a decent amount. I mean, it's not gushing out. If I turn it down, it seems to be flowing about the same. And it does shut off. Okay. The only thing I can, I'm not going to take the carb off the other one. I don't want to mess. I don't want to mess with something that's not broke, so, and jinx myself. But I think those Chinese carbs are, I don't know, maybe 20 bucks. I just want to make sure that I got to measure the distance between the intake side here of these bolts. I think it's about 38 millimeter, but I will double check that. And I don't know. See if that improves anything. Because like I said, guys, I mean, this carb's been cleaned. All the orifices can blow air through everything. Fuel is flowing out of the petcock. Obviously, it runs. We got spark. There's no blockage in the exhaust, which that is kind of key to these things. They got their tiny little tips on the exhaust, and if you leave these things sitting. See what I'm seeing here, and we're cloudy again, but if you let me get a better picture here, because this thing is not showing up. That's the other end, this part right there. I'm upside down. So mud daubers like to build their nests inside there. So if you've got one of these or get one of these and it's been sitting for a long time, double check that opening and make sure it's not plugged up, because that'll cause a very similar issue. It'll try to start and then it'll die. So, alright, well, I know I had said previously that I was going to order a carb. I was looking around, and yeah, there's a bunch on eBay, but I was kind of trying to rule out some other things before I go and put a new carb on it. Not that it's that expensive, it's not, guys, but yeah, I like to keep them original if I can, because I'm not going to be able to put the original air filter housing back on it, and I kind of like to keep the originality. The whole bike's original. I mean, everything on here is original. So I will. I got to look at my part stuff back there. Maybe I've got a carb for one of these things. I don't know. I got to go look at my stash. But in the meantime, I will go ahead and I guess just, like I said, look, see if I got one. If not, order one and clean this exhaust pipe up, at least, since I've got it off. And we'll get the, so we roll that out, and we know it's clean and it works and blows air through it just fine. So, what I could do is take my temporary tank off of the TC125 and hook it direct to the carb and bypass this petcock and bypass the tank and see. So okay, well let me get that. I'm gonna look for a carb while I'm at it, and I'll be back here in a minute.